Good afternoon, Vallejo. This is Community Forum, and I am your host, Maria Bitagon. We are on Channel 27 at Comcast and Channel 99 at AT&T Viewers. We are recorded on Thursdays and Sundays at 6:30 p.m. Please watch us. Today, please help me welcome our guest. Our guest today is the city manager of the great city of Vallejo, Greg Nyoff. He is celebrating his full year at the helm. Is that correct?
I am.
Okay. You're welcome to VCAT, and we are so happy to see you.
Thank you.
Okay. So then, would you like to say something to the public and greet them as you come to us,
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me back, Maria.
You know it's my pleasure.
Yeah, we've had the opportunity to speak a few different times over the year, and it's been a good excuse me, it's been a good year. It's been a busy year, and so I appreciate the support certainly of the community. It's been great for my wife and I. We have loved it here. It seems like 1 year. It's been actually a year and 3 months now already, and it just has flown by. And so it's been fun, a lot of work, a lot of good things that we're working on, and a lot of challenges that we're working on.
Yes.
And so, that's what it's about. It's how do we make our community better. So I really enjoyed all the support from the community, from VCAT, from so many organizations, and especially from the council.
We love you and your wife because we always see you at all the gatherings. So would you like to, I saw in the newspaper about you being here for 1 year. I said, I think it's more than 1 year, but okay, let's talk about 1 year. Well, could you please talk about the successes as well as the changes at the City Hall and also the accompanying challenges?
Wow.
Yes. You can do it one at a time, and I just want you to see how everything happened, and because we saw you at the California Maritime Academy, and that was every time we see you, there's the city manager. Everybody's is the same like that. When they see you, they just are very happy. I just want just want you to know that.
Well, I appreciate that, and I have got such a warm welcome, and it always is. I guess as with any of us, you get that positive reinforcement. You just keep wanting to work harder. Yeah. And I certainly have had that, so I appreciate that, and as my wife. Yes. So it's been a little over a year now, and I think just to quickly kind of tell the story. So when I come into the organization, I wanted to first take a look at, assess it, and say, what does my staff look like? What is our capacities? Where might we be strong? Where might we be weak? And so I did that for the first couple of months, and then you take a look at, okay, what's the plan moving forward? You meet with City Council. They create priorities. So you understand what the community priorities are, and then you have organizational priorities. So then you put that plan together.
Yes.
And then you start transitioning. So we have done quite a bit of transitioning. I was missing 2 department heads when I first started, and so I do have a pretty new team. I think there's 5 new people working for me now in the city. Human resources, fire chief is new. We just had a new finance director, someone who's worked with us for a while, but we promoted her. We did a risk manager. We hadn't had one before, so we've assistant city manager is new too. So we're a team that learns together, but I'm very happy with the team we have. And I think one of the main goals of the city is economic development. And
that's right.
And
yes.
I always say the city's been through a lot, through bankruptcy, and through the base shutting down. That was really hard on this city, both of those. And so we have to continue being focused on how do we bring business in, how do we encourage existing businesses, how do we grow and expand those that are here already. And so that was a real focus, and we had a system that was a barrier to that versus a facilitator of that.
Yes.
And so we worked real hard on that right from the very beginning. And I think we've made probably 60% improvement, which is
great
in a year. I look at continuously improving. So
yes.
We did great. The department did great. We have almost a new planning staff that's there. The people that were there, they're still there, just stepped up and have really transitioned. And so now we need to take off that next 40% of being really great, because we don't want to be a barrier to new jobs for our community, new revenues, and economic development expansion of our community. It's important. I think it's our lifeline,
yes,
our future. So I want to do it right.
Yes.
I want to do it smart, but we want to make sure we're not a barrier to that. So that was a big one of the city council. So we did pretty well there. And then balanced budgets. The council has a balanced budget. We're working on that again right now.
Yes.
For next year, and it'll be a balanced budget again. Yes. And we've got good reserves. So nice and stable the
yes.
city is financially. It's not rich. I tell people it's okay.
That's right.
But that's why we need to keep going on economic development.
Yes. I also noticed that because the council people, the mayor and the council people works very well together, and I think that it must be through your intercession, because you know what, they for some reason they're moving things faster, and they're more positive in what they're doing, because I have never seen, sometimes I see the voting and it's always all together on things that they believe in doing. Mm-hmm. And that makes me feel a lot better and prouder as a member of the constituency of Vallejo, and also the fact that they are positive in when they address the problems. So they have differences, but you know what? When they address it, they're not trying to hammer each other, or trying to kill each other, because sometimes, people can be negative. But they are very positive, and that's one thing that when I interviewed the mayor, that's one thing that I told him also, because I have been hearing this from people, and so, I think I'm so happy about that.
Me too.
Me too.
Happy council just makes everybody else. It's really easy. And I just would comment that last time I was here, probably about a year ago, that I told you, but that's one of the reasons I came here, is because they were positive, they worked together.
Okay.
They definitely have difference of opinions, but we all work on it.
Yes.
I meet them regularly, one-on-one, so that, we can make sure both sides are doing what they need to do to move forward. And then they understand their differences in opinion, and they accept them. And they say we're all here for Vallejo. So I've been really happy to work for them.
So, you know what, the only thing that I'm very unhappy about is homelessness. Mm-hmm. Would you like to address that and see what the people can do, like volunteer organizations, nonprofit organizations, or people who wants to volunteer, how could they help in, helping with, with the progress of, getting less homeless people on the streets? How could the people of Vallejo help the government of Vallejo, that way?
Yeah, I think so. Again, when we talked about the transition phase of coming in, we didn't have a director in the housing authority.
Okay.
And so
that is.
So Judy Shepherd Hall is our new housing director, but I hired her because of her passion.
Okay.
To work with the homelessness. So I hired her too because of her knowledge of housing. But she had such a passion to do something about our homeless situation. So I can tell you at this point in time, she's been working on grant funding to really open up a more permanent type of shelter. We'll do the housing project. So what I would tell everybody is, we want people to help our homeless, but I think what we're missing is just a coordinated effort.
Yes.
And so under Judy, which is, if you just go to our website, you can find her name under Housing Authority. And if you have a group that's helping or wants to help in homelessness, just send her a note, because right now she's already meeting a lot of different groups out there, pulling them together so that we have a focused approach to that. And it's a very difficult task. Cities all over the country are trying to figure out the right answer to that. But I think I have the right person. The City Council did just approve. I asked them for funding to do a plan.
Yes.
Because the other thing is you can chase things. You know,
Yes.
let's go try this, and then you just keep spinning. And so I want a community engagement plan that says, how are we going to address this? And then we're going to put the funding necessary to do that and gather everybody together, and we're going to make a difference in the homelessness in the next 12 months.
Okay. How does partnership with chambers of commerce, how does it help accelerate the progress in economic development?
And we've had a great partnership from the very beginning.
Great.
You know, I met with their director and the then president, and we said, you know, they had concerns about how we do business as an organization, and I said, well, why don't we get together on a regular basis? You have an ad hoc team with my staff, and let's keep walking through things that we could do better for the business community.
That is neat.
Yeah, and it turned out to really work well, because there was some accountability from the chamber on us, so that we said we're going to do this, and then we met, 2 months later, and we had to report that out. And so them giving us the honest feedback on saying this doesn't work very well, this doesn't, could we do better here to help businesses, has been really beneficial, and we're continuing to do that. So they're a big part of the 60% improvement I talked about. But the other good part about it is when people speak positively about the city.
Yes.
Both from the community side,
yes.
who we are,
yeah.
Vallejoans, to the organization and how we warmly accept business and economic development. That makes a difference. So their voices out there telling other people, hey, they've changed. People are willing to do business with you. If they think you're difficult to do business with, they're going to go somewhere else.
I think that, the magic of listening and also connecting and, having a positive attitude. What kind of changes are you looking forward to doing? What kind of changes, positive changes, are you looking forward to doing at the City Hall or for the City of Vallejo?
Yeah, well, I would, on Tuesday night we had a council meeting, and it's kind of like the challenges and the success stories are all in one meeting, but
yes,
there was some uneasiness. We've got to be better with our community and policing relationships, and which is one of the highest goals that council has. So the other thing council did was adopt new priorities for the upcoming year.
Yes.
So it's police and community relations. It continues to be economic development. We want to enhance technology. We want to talk about housing. How do we make sure there's affordable housing for the people who can work here and live here, and so they don't have to go somewhere else, farther north or wherever, to do that. So that's, it just got approved Tuesday night. So if you want to get a good picture of where the city's headed, it's in the council priorities.
Okay.
And
that is so great.
Yeah, for me, it's we've stabilized the organization, but now we have to start. Now it's about output.
Yes.
It's about really taking the things that the plans and the transitioning that led to. Now we have to have success stories. So we have to see the economic development that we've been working on actually happen.
It goes in stages.
I always say, in the pipeline I don't get a drink until the water comes out of the spout.
Yes, yeah.
And then
That's
we
right.
see it. So that's a big one, but we're going to really be focused on community engagement. We just hired a volunteer coordinator to work with people like VCAT, the arts, but the community too, the neighborhoods. And
Right.
Our goal is going to be more out there and more engaged, and especially we got great police officers. There's been some really tough things that happen, tragic things that
Yes.
have occurred, and so we just have to work with our community to improve that, because it's just necessary
Yes,
for us to do that.
I have talked to Sergeant Garrick, who retired already,
Right.
but still,
Right.
and Chief Bidu, and they are so much into, those coffee clutches, and so that they could have contact with the communities, so that they can see what positive things the police people are doing in order to help the people who are, who need help in the community.
Yeah.
So the program that they have shown me is very encouraging.
They do a lot of good already, but I guess I'm the city manager that always says continuously improving.
Yes,
is
and
what
you're looking
we
at
should
that.
do, and I think that we see there is tension right now, and I think, I will be the first of 20-some years of having a police department. The men and women that are police officers are fantastic people, and they truly do put their lives on the line. So we have to merge our community and our police together better than what it is today. I'm not saying it's bad, but we just need to be better.
And I think that sometimes the people who are in the police department who applies, because they have different social background, and it depends upon their training also. So how they learn, how fast they learn, or how they are open to some suggestions or to some of the things that are being taught. So if you are going to be, if this is the time, just like the president have the State of the Union, and we just, Bob Sampayan just did his State of the City. Ramon Cusi just did his State of the School. What would the state of the city manager be? And I want you to address your constituent and ask for all kinds of help so that we can all work together, so that we can have the best city, the best and most diverse city in this whole wide world. So I would like you to address them from your heart, from your mind, from your intellectual capacity to run a city. Could you please address our city, the city of Vallejo?
That was very well introduced. That was good. That was so a few different things that I would say is, the first one is, I like to think that one of the most special things about Vallejo, California was its diversity, and how strong that can be when we all work together. And I will say as a city manager personally that we can always do better on that. And so we're really going to be stepping out in community engagement, not just the police department. I said we hired a volunteer coordinator, someone to connect to the community more, so we can start setting up opportunities to be engaged. And I would just always ask, just be open-minded, be critical, but positive and constructive about that, because we can really soar as a city when it comes to our diversity. I'd like to see us be the example for the country when it comes to a group of very diverse people, how they really took hold of Vallejo's challenges and said, we can work together and make a difference and really show success when it comes to who we actually are as people. Economic development, I'm going to simply say to Vallejo community, there are a lot of projects that are being discussed. They are going through planning processes, but they're going to be, in my mind, very unique and probably something that maybe some people wouldn't have expected. So we're going to have to look at Vallejo and say, who do we want to be, and not this is who we are. And I think we're going to have to be open-minded when it comes to these business opportunities. We all need to keep speaking positively about our community. When we do that, it just raises the image of who we are, and it raises all of our heartbeats for our community. We just all come up. And then we're going to engage this volunteer coordinator, and we're going to want to facilitate volunteer opportunities to where we can work with you, whatever the nonprofit group is, group of individuals, to do things in our community that are going to make us better. Because I'll be happy to work side by side with any of you on a Saturday. I used to own my own lawn maintenance business, so I'm still really good with a weed eater and pulling weeds and a shovel. So, beautify our community, help out and fix some homes up. All of those opportunities we can have to really make a difference. And man, we're going to be strong together. And keep supporting your council members. They're working really hard, but they need to hear from you in a positive way so that we can keep addressing our challenges. But tell them when they did a good job too.
Yes.
Because they work hard.
That's great.
Hopefully that's where we're going to go next year. Our job is to get some work done and facilitate, and that's where we plan to go.
So because no one can just do the job alone, and we have to all work together.
Right.
So that's the reason why you went out to them and talked to them so that they could help you, so that we can help each other, so that we can make a beautiful, great Vallejo.
Yeah. It's a beautiful place.
It is. So on that note, we are closing this presentation, and I hope that you listen to all of the people of Vallejo, listens to our city manager. Let's help him. Let's help him and let's help each other so that we can make Vallejo the best place to live. Okay? And on that note, I want to thank our city manager for coming. He has a whole bunch of appointments today, and I have to yank him by the hand. It's, let's go at 2 o'clock. And he says, I'll be there. So now that he made time for us, let's make time to help also Vallejo and help all his objectives so that we can all work together and we can have a great city to live in. Okay, Vallejo.